Okay. Now, okay, now I went ahead and fixed it. So there shouldn't be any locks or anything preventing me from opening or X reference editing this X reference in place. Okay, that's the one I want. Okay, nothing there. Okay, which is perfect. But I do have a scaling problem. Some stuff came in way crazy. Okay, so let me go back. Oh wow, look at that. Scale was wacky. Anyway, you run that risk when you're opening up inside of AutoCAD because it probably scaled up to the to some kind of scale. I'm not quite sure what happened. Anyway, um, let me go ahead and close that out. Let's see what happens when if I discard the changes. All references edits will be discarded. Yeah, okay. Well, that was kind of weird. Went back to, shrunk back down to normal. That was kind of weird. Let's do the other. Let's just go ahead and open the X reference rather than editing it in place. Go ahead and continue. Okay, that looks a lot better. Okay, that was kind of weird. I've seen some weird stuff that AutoCAD does, but that was kind of classified as something I haven't seen yet. I have no idea why that did that. Anyway, so I went ahead and opened the drawing, and I opened it because I wanted to do some editing in here. I just wanted to add a couple of little lines. And wouldn't you know it, those lines are... Oh no, there we go. Okay, I'm just going to put an X right there. Maybe draw one over here. Okay, and since I since I opened the drawing while I was in the other drawing, if I went back, I'm going to have to reload it. Well, actually, you know what? I have to go back to this drawing because I didn't save it. So now I'm going to save it. Okay. It wants to save it back up onto the desktop, which is okay. I'm going to go ahead and save there. Want to replace it, and I'm good to go. Let's go look at the parent drawing. Now notice the changes haven't updated. They don't really update automatically. I actually have to go in here into the X reference editor and then go back in and reload them. Okay. Reload, 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 and let's see, X. Okay, now if you look closely, you'll see that those little edits are right here. So if you imagined that one of your coworkers was working on this drawing, he made some changes. He notified you that the changes were coming. You went in and reloaded, and lo and behold, this is what you would get. Okay, the rest of chapter 7 talks about removing and adding and removing objects within the blocks or the X references by the method that I just showed you. But I just noticed that I didn't go through these individual options that you have when you right click on one of the drawings. Okay, I'm in the X reference editor, and you can get there by typing XR for X reference. I'm going to right click, and here you'll see I can attach my drawings. This is the same list that you could find up here. Okay, now if I select one of the drawings and right clicked, I can open the drawing, I can attach the drawing, I can unload it or reload it. Okay, now if I was to attach the drawing, that's basically like inserting it into the drawing, just like you would a block. So what used to be our X reference, now when I hit attach, will become a block. Okay, and you know what? I don't want to do this yet. Let me show you something in the layers editor before I bring this block in. Okay, let me go to the layers. Now notice all I have in this drawing are X referenced items, and you can see here's the list, the layer list of what's all involved with these X referenced layers. Notice you have the name and then a little bar right there, and then the description of the layer. So if I was in the native drawing that I'm X referencing here, that drawing would only show walls casework. It would not show this prefix. These prefixes only exist when you X reference. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and X reference, and I'm going to attach. Let's see if I can take. No, I can't select bind in any of these cases. That's there it is. Okay, here's this bind, and I'll tell you why this bind works as opposed to those. This drawing here is the drawing that's X referencing these two. So these are stacked X references. Remember I mentioned about X references going deep? That's what's going on here. So I need to get to the mother of these two X references in order to bind. Okay, I'm going to bind them as an insert, and bam. Now they're live in my drawing. Notice how bright they are now? But let's go to the layers. X reference. Oops, not X reference. Oh yeah, notice in the X reference, the X references are gone. That's because they're all in my drawing now. And notice the layers now. The prefix has been removed. Kind of cool. But you pay a heavy penalty for getting rid of those prefixes, and that's because you have now all the entities live in your drawing. Now let's talk about the interactivity between your drawing now and the other person working on the drawing let's say on another part of the project. When they make a change, you're not going to see that anymore now because you have that line work now live in your drawing. Okay, hopefully you can understand that. If you have any questions, just ask me, obviously, but hopefully I explained this well. I really felt like I didn't do a good job on this section, but anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next chapter. Okay, the next chapter is chapter 15, and chapter 15 is very similar to what we did in chapter 7, and that was in chapter 7 we inserted blocks into our drawing, but we also X-referenced them as well. Now we're going to take a look at X-referencing, so to speak, raster images. Now let's talk about the difference between a raster and a vector image. Let's open up a blank AutoCAD drawing. A raster image is an image that's made up of a bunch of pixels. So basically your cell phones take raster images, photographs. Okay, if you look real tight into the photograph, you can see the picture falling apart because it's just comprised of a bunch of little colored squares. As opposed to AutoCAD and programs like AutoCAD, like Illustrator and CorelDRAW, some of these other programs where they have vector works which have a direction and a distance. So it's a mathematical calculation as opposed to just a colored pixel residing in space. Okay, so what we're going to do is the whole object for inserting a raster is to augment your drawing, but also you can also create vector drawings from your raster drawings by tracing over the top of them. There are some programs now that can actually read the graphic elements on the raster and convert them to vector, but oftentimes they're not very clean. So the first way we insert our raster is we go ahead here and we say insert, and we just take a look. Here we can insert drawings, which we did previously. Now we can also insert raster image reference. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. Go to my desktop, because that's where all my stuff is residing. Go to chapter 14, and notice I have a couple of raster images here, and I'm going to pull this one up right here. Okay, it says raster image, specify on screen, sure. And I click here, and I just kind of like keep my finger on the clicker there and just scale it up. Click again, and I'm done. Okay, so pretty much I've got my raster image in here. First thing I notice is that I got a scale here, or not a scale, I have objects that I can scale. This is 16 feet 4 inches from here to there. Now let's measure what it is in actuality. From here to here is 7 feet, or that could be inches, 7 inches, 7.84 or 85 inches. So not exactly 16 feet, okay? Let me check my units. And my units say feet. Got a dilemma. Let me change those to inches. And I'm going to go to decimal. Let's say architectural. And I'm going to go ahead and keep that. I'm working actually in Civil 3D, not in AutoCAD, so that's why my default units are in feet. So hopefully I didn't confuse anybody. Okay, so the first thing you need to do, our job is to trace out this little room here because we don't have a vector drawing of it. So I got to trace it out. But first of all, I have to get it to scale. Okay, notice this is a raster image, and I can't touch any elements in here because there's no elements that reside. All the elements that reside that I can touch are its outside border. Okay, that's the only thing I can touch. And as soon as I touch the outside border, notice that my windows change up here. Okay, so that allows me to edit this. So let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and scale this. I'm going to type the command scale. I'm going to select the edge. Then I'm going to scroll in here kind of tight. Okay, and then I'm going to hit return because I'm done selecting my objects. My base point is going to be here on this corner. Okay, oops, base point is there. Okay, now I'm going to type the R for reference. That's going to allow me to measure this and then tell AutoCAD that it's 16 feet. So my reference dimension is from here to here. Then now I have to enter 16 feet. 16 feet, don't forget the little foot sign there, 4 inches. And bam, it's scaled up. So let me zoom extents. Let me zoom in here and take a distance. Distance from here to here is now 16 feet, 3 1/4 inches. Now it's not too bad because I was, just doing this symbolically. So now that I have this fairly scaled, let's say you tweak it a little bit more, now I can proceed to draw my vector objects over a raster image. So now I'm going to say REC, rectangle, start up here, and down here, and then now I'm going to start to build away. Unfortunately, I got a white line in front of a white background, but never fear. Let's go ahead and select this border, and let's go to over here to adjust the raster image. Notice I have a fade button here, or a fade bar. Notice I can fade that back similar to the way I could a X reference. So let me just fade that back to about that much right there. Okay, pretty much that's kind of what I want. Then now, since I have that shaded back, now I can continue working on my objects. So in architecture, oftentimes we use multi-line to get 2 lines drawn in at once. So M line, and let me start right here. Start my M line. Let me hit F8 for ortho. There, and then to there. Now, not very straight M line, but I think you get the picture. But take a look. My M line's not wide enough, so maybe 3 times the width should be fine, I guess. Let me erase this. Okay, let me M line again, and then use scale. I'm going to type 3. I'm going to go here, there, and across. Let me use perpendicular. Perpendicular. Oh, way better. Okay, so you can see how my line works working out there. Okay, then you would just kind of trace around this whole area. Okay, let's say you have, let me bring in the other image that I need to work on. Let me go create a new drawing. New, use this AutoCAD. Say okay. Now turn off my grid. Let's change the units again. Units. You know what? I'm not, because I know the image that I'm going to bring in is a map. So let me not change that. Let me just go up here to insert. You know what? Let's do it using the X reference editor, XR. Sorry to keep on changing my mind. But and here we're going to go up here to the black button and say, oh, attach image right there. There it is. Okay, I want this image now downtown. Say okay, and say there. You can just click again, do the same thing. Now, maps like these, often you don't have to scale these to any scale. I think these are good just the way they come in. So But I mean, if you needed to, you could go ahead and scale it to 1 to 100 or 1,000, whatever your scale happens to be. But anyway, the reason I chose this map was we're going to duplicate it. We're going to copy the map right over itself. And I'm going to go there and right over there. So now if I list the objects, notice I got 2 found. Okay, so I have one right on top of the other. Okay, let me move one off just for a sec. Okay, what I want to do with this one, I want to fade this one down pretty by about 50%, if not more, but like right there. But what I do want is I want this respective one highlighted and to be brighter in a highlighting a sector of the overall picture. So I'm going to put this one right back over the top. Okay, now just to make sure that I have this one, this brighter one on top, I'm going to right click, go to display order and say bring to front. Okay, now it's guaranteed to be on top of the faded back image. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to clipping and I'm going to add a clipping boundary. Okay, now I have some options here. I can say polygon, rectangle, invert clip, which is kind of convenient, or and the default is rectangle, but I want a polygonal, I should say. Okay, now it allows you to draw a polygonal clip. So I'm going to go from here down this block, down that block, and then down this main corridor, and pretty much accept that. Okay, so there we go. So now I have clipped out the top image so that only these objects are bright and this stuff is faded back. Okay, now here's a quiz. The quiz is that if I faded this back out and our background is white, that means that this image is going to be lighter than this image. This image is going to lay a lot of ink down and be darker. This image is not. So when you see it faded back like this, one has a tendency to think it's going to plot blacker. It's actually not. It's going to plot lighter. This is going to plot darker. Okay? All right. Okay, so that's our clipping. But one other problem. Your boss comes back to you and says, hey, you got these ugly white borders on here. How do you get rid of them? Well, let's see. Let's see if we got any options over here. You've got transparency background. We don't have a transparency. External reference, show image. You can turn your images on and off. You can remove the clipping. How about adjustments? No, not really. There's nothing there that I see. So you're just going to have to remember this one. It's image frame. Okay. Your options 1 or 0. Type 0 to turn them off, and now they're off. Okay, so now you got a cleaner look. Okay, now those white lines won't appear. Okay, so that's, let's see, that covers the first part of chapter 7. I'm sorry, 14, in which we were supposed to clip an image. We now need to look at, oh no, I think I showed you how to brighten the image. Let's go to this one right here in the middle. Oh yeah, you know what? Oh, I can touch it still. Okay. Used to be back in the old version, if I remember right, that if you did not have those borders selected, you could not select this. So you had to turn the borders back on. Maybe AutoCAD finally got smart. Okay, you see the little arrow here that I'm playing with? If I hit the little arrow, it says make everything else the selection. So I'm going to invert the selection. Nah, I want to go back to the other way. I want this highlighted. Okay, let's take a look at this image here. Let's select it, adjust, let's increase the brightness. Okay, and let's increase the contrast. So it almost looks cartoony. Okay, so you can kind of play with these to get the best plot. And believe me, it's going to take more than one plot to get the plotting set correctly for an image like this. Okay, in a nutshell, that's basically all of chapter 15 of just how to mess with the images. Let me see if I have a X-reference, XR. Let's see if I have a PDF, because a PDF is a very, yeah, I do have one. Here we go. It's It's kind of a unique kind of situation in which Autodesk has gone through great lengths to be able to import a PDF, but one would think that you'd be able to import it just like a raster image, because many times PDFs are raster images. Okay, so I'm just going to put the PDF here, scale it up. It reacts just like a raster image, and lo and behold, here it is. Here's the PDF. Okay, it's a little cleaner. That's because oftentimes PDFs do contain vector elements. PDFs can be raster and can be vector, and almost simultaneously they can have elements of both. Okay, so again, to insert the PDF, you would hit the XR, X reference, and then you can go down this list here, select PDF, and then insert it. Okay, again, that was chapter 15. Let's go ahead and move on to the next chapter. Okay, now we've inserted our drawing here. We put in some text, and let's say my little table down in the bottom needs to get blown up a little larger. Okay, you wouldn't do this at work, but you would actually put the table here in Paperspace, but I'm just trying to give an example of what to do if you wanted to isolate your table into another MView. So let's type MView and make another MView down here. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to zoom in, and notice all this stuff is like super big in my window, and I don't necessarily like that here. I can't even grab anything because this stuff's so big. I'm going to have to zoom in there tight. Okay, Paperspace. There we go. God, sometimes AutoCAD drives me crazy. Okay, let's go in here. All right, let's go okay, zoom window, and I just want that. That thing's still getting in my way. There we go. Okay, and let me zoom in a little tighter. That's good enough for our purpose. Okay, pull this down a little bit until it's clear. Okay, and then close it off by typing PS for Paperspace. PS, okay. I can zoom back out. Okay, there we go. So now I have MView here, and a larger scaled MView with my table. But let's say I wanted kind of an irregular kind of shaped MView. So let's create kind of a weird shape. Okay, close. Okay, that's a closed polygon. Okay, I want to MView again, and now I want to select polygon. No, I don't want to select polygon because then I have to draw one. I'm going to select O for object. Select the object I want to use, and lo and behold, there we go. I create an MView of this kind of weird shape. So you can use circles, you can use rectangles, hexes, I don't care. Use any shape you want. Oftentimes, you'll need to blow up an area like this depicted by a particular size or shaped border, and then you need to duplicate that. This is kind of the convenient way to do that. Okay. There's a command that I don't seem to find, and that's Quick Calc. And I keep on looking for it, and I can't find it. Okay, let's just go here. Okay, palettes, Quick Calc, right there. Oh, Control 8. Okay. So up comes Quick Calc. So Quick Calc's kind of cool because now you can calculate stuff on the fly as you are working, and you can invoke this in the middle of commands as well. So it works like any kind of calculator that you're used to, and this is better than the regular Windows calculator because now you have scientific functions. Okay, you have sine, cosine, logarithms. Let's see, we have units of conversion, which is kind of handy. Okay, rather than going to the internet, you can do it straight up. And then variables. Let's see, I'm not quite sure what these would do for you, but just kind of wanted to show you where Quick Calc was. Again, it is under Tools, Palettes, and under Quick Calc. Okay. Let's see. So if I wanted to, oops, hit the wrong button there. I think I can type this in. So let's see, I got a number lock. Okay, if you wanted to, you can just press the numbers here. Kind of a slow way to do it. Let's backspace, delete. Hey, those, oh, there we go. Backspace works. If I wanted to, I can just go straight to my key tablet here, my key punch over here on the right hand side of my keyboard, and enter the numbers in. And then times, let's say 45, enter, and here's my answer. Okay. So it works just like a regular old calculator. Let's go, let's say 25 and square that. Enter, 625. Okay. Let's take a look at what else we have here. Okay, this erases the values that you had in there. This is clears the history, clears all that stuff out, obviously. If you had taken values off of the AutoCAD drawing, you can paste them in there. See, you can get coordinates. Let me give you an example. This coordinate right there. Okay, it is x 2.035 yada yada yada, comma 8.807 in the y. Okay, so this is x, y. Okay, if I wanted to take a dimension, I'd use a little ruler thingy, and it returns back. Oh, you know what? I forgot to clear the history. Or clear this. Clear is here. Okay. There to there. Okay, so it's 12, about 12 inches. Angle, if I had yeah, I got a weird angle in here. Let's go from here to here. Oops, made a mistake. Enter point there, and say there. And again, I forgot to clear this mess. Let's try it one more time. Okay, 270. That doesn't look like 270 to me. Need to figure out how to use that. Let's see. This is intersection between two lines defined by 4 points. Oh. Let's see. How would I do that? Defined by 4 points. 1, 2. No, I need a good example. Okay, let's try this. Okay, I'm going to use these 4 points. This one, that one. Maybe coincidental. Okay, so that gave me the point. See, if I ran a line out this way and this way, my point would be right there. That's what I'm assuming. Okay, let's use a conversion here. Convert to meters. Okay, how about convert to inches? And value to convert is, let me open this up here. Okay, value to convert is, let's say 5 feet, say. Converted value, and I'm going from meters to inches. So I have 5 meters, and this is how many inches it is. Okay, if I was going from, let's say, feet to inches, 5 feet would be 60. Okay, so pretty handy. Okay, anyway, that's really kind of covers chapter 15 as well. There's not a whole lot in there. Again, it was a mixed bag of stuff. I encourage you to read the chapters, obviously, and to do the exercises, right? You have exercises that are going to be basically X-referencing and pasting in and scaling raster images. You also have some hatch exercise in which you're going to be asked to insert, using an X-reference, a image that has some hatching in it, and you're going to be asked to manipulate the hatching if possible in the X-reference. Then they're going to have you open the X-reference and then manipulate the hatch while doing a live in-place X-reference edit. So kind of read the problems carefully and ask me any questions if any come up. Okay, but it's imperative that you read the material as well. Okay, unless you have any other questions, just go ahead and drop an email or text me. Either one works. So I will see you in class. Okay.